Welcome to the Royal Automobile Club Art Motoring. For reasons we know very well, we cannot host the Art Motoring here at the clubhouse, but instead we have weaved together a piece to cover and showcase motoring artists. You've only got to look around the clubhouse in Pall Mall to appreciate the connection between fine motoring art and the Royal Automobile Club. I'm now going to hand over to Andrew, who is going to talk about the art of motoring. Andrew.
Yeah, thanks very much, Jeremy. And I must say, on behalf of all the artists, a big thank you to yourself and the Royal Automobile Club for continuing your support. Let's remember that Britain has some of the best motoring artists in the world, without question. And in a few moments, we're going to see some of their work. We're going to visit their studios. We're going to have them talking about how they paint, how they choose their subjects, and so on. Also, at the end of this little piece, you'll be able to click on a link and that will take you to all the artworks that they would have been showing on the walls here at the clubhouse this very month. But of course they can't do that, but you still should get a very good idea of what they've been up to over the last few months. And I have to tell you, the work is absolutely as outstanding as it ever is. So yes, we have gone virtual. Coming up are interviews and videos with some of the 20 or so artists exhibiting with us this year. And you'll also be able to check out their work on a website where you can see all their paintings and sculptures. So first, let's hear from Johnny Ambrose.
Hello and welcome to my studio. My name is Johnny Ambrose and I'm an automotive sculptor. I will be showing you some new works of mine here today and what I'm currently working on. In front here is my Porsche 956 artwork, which is a relief wall-mounted sculpture, which is designed by me, start off with sketches and then take it into a computer-aided design package, where I design a lot of my works actually. For clients, it's great for visualizing how a finished sculpture, how the finished design for them will turn out. And also when I'm designing a new work for a numbered edition of 9, because a lot of my works are in numbered editions of 9, how they will look complete with all the materials, etc. So some of these will be appearing in the online exhibition, as will these two works. So these involve steam bending of wood and to create an elegant tail, because one of the elements I love is imagining what the airflow is doing behind a car, flowing over a car, etc., and using the grain to accentuate those flowing movements. This is where I now work. I have a studio all to myself, which offers me enough space to move around and build the works. There's a wood workshop next door, which I'm very fortunate to have as well at my disposal. So just a quick flavour there of some of the works that I have here and what I'm working upon. But if you'd like to get into contact, my website is johnnyambrose.com. Happy to answer any questions you may have, and so please do get in contact. Bye.
One of Britain's most successful artists is the Birmingham-born Stan Rose, but he now paints in the wonderful Yonne Valley in France. Let's look at his studio.
Hello, my name is Stanley Rose. Welcome to my studio here in Burgundy, France. On my right I have a painting that I'm working on at the moment. It's the Bugatti 35B, one of my all-time favourite cars, and I wish I'd owned one of those. But I do own a Chevrolet 1946 Art Deco pickup, which I bought during this COVID year, during the lockdown period. I call this my COVID painting for obvious reasons. Even the model was wearing a mask, good girl. The next painting I'd like to show you is a picture of the Porsche 356. I chose the 356 because it's my wife's favourite car and I had no choice but to do that picture. Further along, slightly different style, is the famous Ferrari 512S, owned by a client of mine, and I was commissioned to do a couple of paintings for him. These cars were raced at Castellet a few years ago, and just looked absolutely fantastic. I hope you enjoyed this very quick little visit to my studio, and have a lovely year.
There are only a handful of lady motoring artists, but perhaps the best known is Ella Frey. Let's join her in her studio. Ella, we're so sorry we can't have you actually hanging your art on the walls here at the RAC this year, because we've enjoyed it so much in the past. But this time we're doing this virtual art gallery, which is new to me and probably quite new to you. Yours is a unique style, Ella, and we see the cars in profile. How did you develop that style in the first place, which has been so effective?
It's taken, over a period of years of trying to work out how to keep the design very simple, taken from the photographs of the cars that I work from, and then work on those, building up the layers of the colour for the prints itself, then really wanting to have the chrome on all the classics, especially highlighted in the silver ink. That process was quite experimental. I'm still evolving it as well as I go. But yeah, that was really important to me to highlight those and keep the style simple. The car is the star at the end of the day.
Now I have to ask you this question. There aren't enough lady motoring artists. I can only think of 2 or 3 of you. It's a shame, isn't it?
I don't know. I think there's more female automotive artists sort of coming through. I've met some young ones actually coming through who I've met on the stands, and they've finished art college. They really love that. Probably more supercars because they're younger than me. So it is really nice to meet some new faces, really, and female. And so, yeah, that's always, encouraging for me anyway.
Ella, thank you so much.
Very, very kind. Thanks, Andrew.
Hi, Richard Wheatland here. Welcome to my studio in West Sussex. My work divides really into 2 separate techniques in a way, or styles. Most of what I've done over the years has been recounting famous motor racing events, really. And the Ronnie Peterson painting behind me is a fair example. But some years ago, I departed into sort of what I call engineering with a brush. The Maserati 250 painting illustrates that. Just for homing in this case, under the bonnet, having had 40 years in engineering, nuts and bolts is what interests me quite a lot. It's great to be able to do an exhibition of some sort this year, and let's hope it's not too long before we get opportunities to exhibit again, away from the virtual world, if you like. Please enjoy my paintings and all the other artists' work, and if you're looking for an early Christmas present, now's the time to get it. Thanks very much. Goodbye.
It's 40 years since Stefan Johansson, the Swede, won the British Formula 3 Championship and then went on to race in Formula 1 with Ferrari and McLaren, amongst others, and of course win Le Mans. When his friend Elio De Angelis was killed in a testing accident at Paul Ricard, he turned to the paintbrush and decided to do some art. He's continued with that art ever since. Let's join him in his LA studio.
So the art that I'm doing is basically 2 different styles. I do the very figurative and detailed portraits like these. So in this case, it's a portrait of Enzo Ferrari. I like to try to engage the viewer in some way or another. In this case, Enzo is talking about violence and how it demands your attention whether you like it or not. It's quite dark, and it just shows a different type of person, that maybe it's not the typical cliche, if you like. And then I do these abstracts. So this one's called Tosa, which is after the corner at Imola, of course. It's inspired by something on a track or a different section of a track around the world. So I've done a whole series of these, about 20 of them now. And then we got Steve McQueen here, which is kind of like his quote too. This is a little bit easier to read. It's an actor is a puppet manipulated by a dozen other people. Auto racing has dignity, but you need the same absolute concentration. You have to reach inside yourself and bring forth a lot of broken glass. And that's pretty much sums it up. Yeah, this is it. This is my hangout. This is where I've spent pretty much all my days these days. I hope you enjoy, and we'll catch up soon, buddy. Take care.
Well, I hope you found that interesting. If you need any more information, don't hesitate to contact myself or Rupert White at Historic Car Art. And we hope to be here hanging the real art on the walls in Pall Mall next year.